This is a part of our religion. There's a reason to it. Yeah? There's a reason why there's a capital punishment. Because people like you, little weaklings, who leave their religion and cause corruption in the land by spreading it, the capital punishment in Islamic law would be applied to you. We have no doubt. And we're proud of that. Yeah? Capital punishment will be applied in an Islamic state. Yeah? Not individuals going and doing it themselves like idiots. Yeah? No. Under an emir, it is done. Yes. And we, you know what? We'll be watching.
All we need is one sentence.
Yeah.
We don't even have to show the video, but we will. Because
What's the title?
David Wood deserves it. Is Alex O'Connor a coward for not exposing Islam? Basically, the whole conceit of the video is he takes this clip from Alex O'Connor where Alex O'Connor, somebody's like, hey, so do you not go after Islam because they claim murderous?
Yeah.
And basically he's like, yeah, I beat up on Christians because they're nice to me. And I think he doesn't he mention something like, yeah, I had a friend who started going after Muslims and they threatened his life.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do that.
They called his parents and found their address and everything like
Totally got all into him. So
to rule through fear. But the thing that we wanted to try to cover with this, and this is David Wood, right?
David Wood.
He's awesome. If you have an opportunity to look up David Wood's testimony, it's absolutely incredible. He
led Nabil Qureshi to the Lord.
Right.
So if you don't know who David Wood is, you probably do know who Nabil Qureshi is, and this is the guy.
Seeking Allah, finding Jesus.
This is the guy. Yeah.
This is the guy who led Nabil Qureshi to the Lord. So our proposition is, or our thesis is Islam... David Wood claims that Islam is the greatest threat to mankind.
Let's let him say it.
There are lots of people, comedians, for instance, who will criticize or mock Christianity or Mormonism or this or that political party, but they won't say a word about Islam because they don't want any attention from jihadis. So they only attack safe targets. Why is this a problem? Well, when you attack people who don't threaten you, but you don't say a word about people who threaten you, you're basically rewarding violent behavior. You're saying, in effect, if you want to control our speech, if you want to always get your way, just start threatening us and we'll do exactly what you want. And that not only rewards violent behavior, it encourages more violent behavior. So, when people try to control you with threats and intimidation, don't give them an inch. On the contrary, if people try to control you with violence, you should do the opposite of what they want in order to discourage threats and intimidation. Those are the two main objections to someone saying, I don't talk much about Islam because I'm more interested in other things and more knowledgeable about other things, and it's just safer to talk about other things. And generally speaking, there's some truth in these objections. There is a rapidly growing threat to Great Britain, and there are people who reward bad behavior by criticizing or mocking ideologies that won't respond violently while treating the world's most dangerous ideology with kids' gloves. However, you can't tell one young British agnostic that he has to shoulder the burden of saving a nation that's hell-bent on destroying itself. Okay, British politicians...
I listened to this. I mean, the title got me. Yeah. Come on. The title got me. So I listened to it.
I listened to this too before you mentioned it.
And that one little... I'm at work. I'm clicking away. I'm doing my thing. And then he's like, Islam, the most dangerous threat to the world. And I was like, most dangerous threat to the what? What the? And I understood. I'm like, okay, he is specifically, his apologetics is against Islam.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah.
So all right, he's coming at it from an angle. But I just wanted to discuss, is it really, should we take it seriously as the most dangerous threat?
I've been preaching this to you for a while now. I'm a fan of Joel Richardson.
Oh, me too.
Joel Richardson wrote a book called The Islamic Antichrist.
Mid-East Beast.
Where he compares and contrasts biblical eschatology with Islamic eschatology. And I would recommend...
So wait, hold on,
Yeah.
hold on. Wind back the clock.
Yeah.
So Muslims, Islam has their own view of the end times. That's what
Exactly.
eschatology means.
Yes.
So Christians, we got our left behind, we got the rapture, we got all the stuff.
Yes.
Muslims have their own version of how the end times plays out.
Yes.
And what does that look like?
Well, some of the parallels... See, okay, let me take you on a story. I read this book by Joel Richardson. I had heard about it before. I've heard him mention it in videos and on YouTube. And, a few years ago, ChatGPT comes out. Okay? And ChatGPT, when it first came out, was not the ChatGPT everyone knows today. It was only in this state for probably a month or maybe 2, but probably less.
The gloves were totally off.
So if anybody doesn't understand that, you have the large language model that is the big brain AI. And then you have a different trained language model that is in between you and the large language model. So that smaller model is designed to be the filter, whether or not.
So it's basically a big nanny.
Yeah, it's is this politically correct enough?
Oh, you're not allowed to say that.
Oh, I'm not.
No. I'm just saying. I'm pretending to be the nanny bot.
Yeah, nope.
So ChatGPT, the actual model, will give you an answer, and then the nanny bot is
decides if you should know
you
it or not.
can't say that.
Yeah, but at first, this was not there, or at least it was much less robust than it is now. And what I did was I asked it to access the scripture, the Bible scripture, and to access Islamic eschatology, and to compare and contrast this. And I have screenshots somewhere on my phone, so maybe one day we'll put them up. But it gave me because it was really literal at that time. It gave me the answer. It said,
"Oh yeah,
there's parallels and similarities and all this stuff." But in Islam, there is this the Mahdi is their Messiah that's coming back, and in Christianity, obviously, it's Jesus who is coming back to rule and reign from Jerusalem. And in biblical eschatology, there's a figure called the little horn, or the man of lawlessness, or the Antichrist. Those are all names for the same figure, and seems to have striking parallels with the Islamic Mahdi. And then so the Islamic Mahdi has the Islamic Jesus that also returns, but what he does is he comes to return and tell everyone, hey, Christianity is not true. I'm not actually God. I'm a part of Islam.
So
And
hold on. Let me paint a picture.
Yeah.
In Christianity, the story goes, you will have an Antichrist who will rule over a world government and impose a one world religion through his government. And he'll have a buddy, and his buddy is a false prophet, and he can work miracles. And he goes around telling everyone that they should worship the Antichrist. Flip turn now to Islamic eschatology, where you have the Mahdi. He rules over the Islamic State, which is what ISIS has been trying to create this entire time.
Yeah.
Is the caliphate. He is the leader of the caliph, which means he rules over a ginormous conglomerate government.
The objective is a world domination.
That is trying to impose a one world religion, Islam, on the entire world. And Jesus returns to tell everyone, hey guys, I'm actually not God, and he works miracles on behalf of the Mahdi.
Mm-hmm.
So you put these two stories side by side, and you go, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Except in one story, they're the bad guys. And in one story, they're the good guys.
Did you mention the false prophet?
Well, yeah, the false prophet is in the Christian eschatology.
Yeah.
He works miracles on behalf of the Antichrist and tells people to worship him. Whereas in the Islamic eschatology, Jesus comes back to tell everyone he's not God, to work
Yeah.
miracles and tell everyone to follow the Mahdi.
Yeah, and I truly believe that
Hey, if this is your first time hearing that, welcome. Yeah, it's a lot. You should look into it.
Yeah, and anything not of God, like I believe this about. Are we allowed to say this? I don't know, but like Mormonism, Islam, they're demonic. They are fueled by the spirit of the air, And if people don't know what the spirit of the air is, it is.
Their stories are just
evil.
so similar that
Yeah.
you really can't. It just makes you.
But
think
anyways,
quizzically.
that's the small surface level overview. If you want to learn more, go look up Joel Richardson's books. His books are free on his website. You can buy them if you want, but there's also free PDFs on there if you want to read them. But the point being that I think it's yet to be proven.
So
it's yet to be proven, but I do think Islam could be.
I will
one
say.
of the largest
So I'll
sects.
also add. This is pertinent. Joel Richardson's entire case is he thinks, based on that the Antichrist, the beast itself, is the Islamic State, the end times Islamic State, and the Antichrist either is that Islamic State or is the leader of that Islamic State.
Yeah.
And so the beast, the one world government that people think is, Rome, or it's going to be the EU or whatever. His personal take on it is that it's going to be Islam.
Yeah.
That the final world deception is going to be Islam itself.
Which, in my view, seems to be pretty probable.
So, to answer the first question of is Islam the greatest threat? If Joel Richardson's
Seems right.
if he's correct, then yeah, almost certainly it will
Yeah.
be. It will culminate as the last day's deception.
Then yes and no, because when you put it that way, the Great Tribulation, church, the believers, the Christian church, the body of believers under persecution multiplies like none other. Like that's what pushed Christianity to the ends of the earth was the persecution, because people in the Roman Colosseums would see these Christians not give up their faith and would give their life to the Lord left and right.
Yeah.
And so one of Joel's premises also is that it is the pressure from the Great Tribulation that fulfills the Great Commission. And so there's one way to look at it to where is it the greatest threat or a blessing almost? Also terrifying.
Well,
Yeah.
The willingness, just straight up desire to enact very serious evil across the world from the standpoint of secular governments.
Yeah.
I think that Canada, America, England are reckoning with it right now.
Yeah.
That not only is a threat to Christians, not only is a threat to the people of Israel,
But there's some serious problems.
but a threat to secular governments. Their willingness to enact evil is pretty serious.
Yeah. So let's hop back into David here, and he goes into more detail.
Police, journalists, educators, they're begging to be subjugated. In fact, they're much more hostile towards someone who's criticizing Islam than they are towards some dawah clown who's openly proclaiming that he wants capital punishment for apostasy.
This is a part of our religion. There's a reason to it. Yeah? There's a reason why there's a capital punishment. Because people like you, little weaklings, who leave their religion and cause corruption in the land by spreading it, the capital punishment in Islamic law would be applied to you. We have no doubt. And we're proud of that. Yeah? Capital punish will be applied in an Islamic state. Yeah? Not individuals going and doing it themselves like idiots. Yeah? No. Under an emir, it is done, yes. And we, you know what? We'll be watching. We'll be watching. Because if you're going to cause corruption in the land, that's going to cause more damage to the society as a whole, because the Sharia didn't come to protect an individual's right. Hey, can I drink alcohol? Yeah, sure. Drink alcohol, run someone over, kill them, set all this kind of chaos. No, Islam says the right of the community is greater than you individual wanting your right to freedom, which is BS.
Pop quiz. Imagine two people. Person one is a Dawa guy who openly declares that he wants Islamic law in Great Britain and that he wants to watch mass public executions of apostates and critics of Islam. Person two is a random British factory worker who posts a message on Facebook saying that if the Dawa guy wants Islamic law, he should go to Afghanistan. Which of these two individuals is more likely to be thrown in prison for expressing his views? We all know the answer, because that's how...
Britain's it's not in a good place.
No.
It's in a very bad place.
Yeah. Where at in this video does he mention the greatest threat?
No, that was it. Yeah.
Oh.
That was the moment.
But I mean, just that clip of that dude, like, creepy, man. That dude will be watching you. Like, I'm like, that gives me chills, man, a little bit. But what David, I think what he mentions later on here is basically like, if you have the ability and safety to push back on this, do it. But he was saying, he's like, why would Alex O'Connor, that's an atheist, push back on this when, like, if he dies, in his view, that's the end. This is all he has.
Yeah.
And so he says, leave it up to the Christians to stand up for people and to stop this from.
And what's so, man, that's what's so crazy about the whole thing is that when it comes down to violence, you either have to believe in something to go toe to toe and fight for it. You either have to love something or you have to hate something. One or the other. And right now in our world, there is so much weakness because there is so much secularism, because there is no love and no hatred. It's only love for self and love for money.
Right.
And the only people who can stand up against straight up threats of violence are Christians. They're the only ones left who actually love something enough to stand up for it and go toe to toe with evil and put their lives on the line. And so he's right. You have to leave it to the Christians. When there's evil, when there's people that want to do physical violence, the Christians are the only ones left.
Yeah.
Who can face it.
Yeah.
And we got another comment. Do we fear the Antichrist? And that's why, no. And that is the verse from Revelation. They did not love their lives unto death.
Mm.
They loved Jesus more.